Hello, everyone. This is Bertena with Spiritual Sanctuary Wisdom for the Divine Feminine podcast. Working with Kim at KP Creative Media completely transformed my podcasting journey. Through clarity calls, workshops, mentoring, and ongoing guidance, I've gained consistency, which was my main goal, but I also grew audience, and most importantly, I found a confidence and joy in podcasting. I now feel grounded, clear, and I'm really excited about podcasting. As a college instructor, teaching and speaking come naturally for me, but I needed someone who could help me trust that I was on the right path. And Kim helped me trust my voice and know that I was on the right path. I can't recommend her enough. Thank you.
Today's episode is a little bit longer than usual. It is not just an interview, but also a little bit of a case study, all rolled up into one. And I'm introducing you to one of my clients, Bertena Varney. She is a priestess and she teaches how to be a priestess. She also teaches yoga and Reiki and all sorts of other fascinating divine feminine pieces of the mystery puzzle. She also has her own podcast, The Spiritual Sanctuary. And while I do help her with that, she's in one of my programs. I also love listening to it because it's just informative every week on something that I may not know anything about. And while today's episode is a little bit on the lengthy side, there is an offering at the end. So make sure you listen all the way through and you'll find out how maybe you can get some free goodies. This is Kim Parkinson. You're listening to Podcasting for Your Spiritual Business. Let's get started with this interview with Bertena from the Spiritual Sanctuary podcast. Have you ever wondered what a priestess is? I am introducing you today to Bertena Varney, and she is a priestess. And Bertena is also a spiritual teacher, Reiki master, somatic yoga teacher, spirit guide, communicator, and a divine feminine guide. And she helps women reconnect with their intuition, their healing gifts, and also their sacred purpose. So all the things that you may need to know. And throughout her work with Reiki, meditation, oracle, and tarot, goddess studies, priestess teaching, spiritual business mentoring, she creates grounded and mystical spaces for women to heal, grow, and remember who they are. And let me tell you, this woman is absolutely fascinating. And I am so excited that she is on today. So thank you, Bertena, for taking the time. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. You are fascinating because you are everything that embodies all of my ideal clients, like all wrapped up in one person. Look at you.
Wow. Okay. I've always said that I like to dabble and like to learn a lot of different things. And then I just take a lot of things and then put it in a way that I like to teach it and share it with the world. That's it.
I love that. I love that. And, you know, I never even mentioned a couple of other key pieces here. I've got to also, so I'm going to give you some more additional love. So she is the host of Spiritual Sanctuary, and she is also a author of many books, which we're going to talk about because I didn't know this. I didn't know this fact. The creator of the Ancient Arts of the Priestess Academy. Oh my goodness. And then, teacher of all types of spiritual business development too. People need that. There are lots of people out there that need more information about that. They're just giving their tarot readings away. Like, let's stop doing that.
Yeah, definitely. What I find the hardest thing in the spiritual business classes is getting people to actually find value in what they do. I know that was a problem I had when I first started out. I felt guilty. I felt bad. And then working through all of those money wounds is a big healing session, a big thing that helps people move forward, because other people will guilt and say, well, you should be doing this for free. But they don't realize how much time and investment and studying that you've put into all of your training for this. And really, when you aren't exchanging energy, you get tired, you lose your spark. And that's why so many people quit this path, is because of the balance between everything. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not just an energetic exchange of energy, but it's energetic
Mhm.
in monetary fashion too,
Yeah.
because you can't eat air.
No,
Let's face
no,
it.
you can. One of the things is really looking at, offering things on different tier levels because different people have different finances and then different clients have different interests and then also motivation. So keeping things open is the best way I feel to get people to come and enjoy what you do and appreciate what you do. And if you are being true to yourself, then the business grows. It really will.
And you also do it virtually too, as I know, because we did a tea leaf reading virtually.
Yeah, I love it. A lot of people will say, well, how can you do that? But I consider myself an energy worker. So tea leaf reading is a little bit harder over Zoom, but it's energy. Your energy is going into your cup and then your energy is coming to me. Our guides are connecting. And from there, it's not hard. It's like Reiki goes where it needs to go. The energy and our guides tell me what I need to know when no matter if we're on Zoom or on the phone or where. I have clients in other countries, so all around the world. So
That's awesome. It's such a cool thing, isn't it? To know that
yeah,
there's somebody in a different country that needs your help. I
yeah,
agree. I feel like that's like I'm known internationally.
I
Although,
know.
can I say yes? No, I do currently am speaking to someone and she is in the UK. So yes,
Oh
I'm
yeah,
also known internationally.
there you go.
All
I
right, I
love.
am going to ask you about your priestess path, but before we get there, or maybe you can tell me if we need to go the other direction. Tell me about your books. What's this? I didn't
Okay.
know this about you. I'm fascinated.
Well, most of my books are nonfiction.
Okay.
And for a little bit more background is I've been teaching college since 2004 and public school before that. So all of my books are kind of like workbooks that go along with my classes. So for example, I have books on my Reiki 1, 2, and 3 class. I teach Reiki a little bit different. It is grounded in Usui, but it also has a intuitive development portion where we use tarot cards in Reiki and oracle cards. And so that is a book that if you do my online class or you're in person, we go through it and it's a workbook. It has the lectures written out, it has the questions, the journals, and all of that. I have a tea leaf reading book as well, tarot, oracle. So you think you can't meditate? There's a small one. That's a smaller one because people who feel like they can't meditate, if you give them a really big book, it's intimidating because they need little things given to them at a time. And then I'm currently working on the Priestess Studies book and a book on the Divine Feminine Reiki healing. I'll tell you my number one selling is my Angel Reiki books. I have this small Angel Reiki book that I put out in, I don't know, something like 2010 or something. And then I have my more advanced one that is Archangels Healing, and it is actually that first book plus more. But the small book sells every day. I have a sale on Amazon. I don't know what it is about it. I've looked up Angel Reiki, and my books are the first ones that come up. But it is really looking at the connection between. You usually have to know at least Reiki 1, but it's going through and connecting with the angels. So I use them a lot as an introduction or just as workbooks. So like if you sign up for my online classes, you get the PDFs. If you want to purchase the paperback ones, you go through Amazon or through my website, either way. And then if you're in person, the store always offers the books at a discount. So yeah.
Fascinating, because I think I told you I bought a tea leaf reading book just a couple weeks ago, right after we did
Yeah.
that. Had I known you wrote one, I would have just bought yours.
It's okay. I had a tea leaf reading party on Sunday, and we had 12 women, and they all got a book and some other little goodies and stuff like that. But we drank tea. We ate, they loved the grapes more than anything. We ate little sweets and fruit, and I taught them how to read tea leaves, and they had the book, and they loved it. Yeah. They're bigger. They're like 8.5 by 11, like a piece of paper. So you can actually write in them. They're actual workbooks. So
Super cool. And I love that you have made a lot of the books smaller because when you mentioned that to me, the very first thing that popped in my head is that I have wanted for the very longest time to read the Dr. Joe Dispenza book, Supernatural, Becoming Supernatural. But it's like 600 pages. It's like 500.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's way too thick.
Yeah.
I don't even know. It's too much.
Yeah, I don't have the patience anymore to read that much. And plus, like I said, I taught college forever, so I was one that wrote a lot of my textbooks and I gave them to students for free. Textbooks are expensive. I mean, there's some classes I couldn't do that, but there was others that I did. And yeah, I just have a love for workbooks and nonfiction. But now if you try to get me to write a fiction book, it's going to be, they walked in, they did something and walked out. That's all you're going to get. It's very linear. That is my masculine, my divine masculine. It is all just lined out for you.
That's okay. Yeah. At least you know it. At least you know it. That's what's important most of the time, right? So, and you have a unique teaching opportunity right now, or a teaching job that you do. You teach supernatural stuff as well in the college level.
Yes, I teach criminology, sociology, and I can teach history. I'm not at this point, and religion. And I'm teaching religion and society in the fall. So what I usually do is it is looking at religion through history, and it does talk about the impact, positive and negative, of religion. But instead of just throwing out a lot of negative stuff and people being discouraged, I bring in guest speakers from all religions and all spiritual paths. And some of them are a little bit more controversial, and some of them are not. Most of them probably are. And it's just because it depends on who you are. I mean, I'm even controversial in teaching the class. But yeah, I teach college. Retiring in December. And I'm bringing all of that with me. Yeah, all of that knowledge. I've taught online and in person. And I've always been an online professor who, it's not do these discussion boards. It is, there's Zooms, there's videos, there's audios. I've even had a podcast before for one of my classes before I got you as a podcast coach, because I had no idea what I was doing. I wish I'd known more, because then I might be at a better place at this time, but I'm at a really good place after meeting you in November and everything, and you working with me. So yeah, but I love to teach. That's it. Yeah.
I love that. Me too. I actually, my teaching path is definitely different than yours. It's not academic as much as it's more craft related, right? My background is in the crafting area, but even after I no longer teach crafts, like even today, I did a couple of tutorials on Zoom for clients that just need it. Like, how do you do this in Descript, or how do you do this like in Captivate? I'll do it for you. I'll do a little. I think I've done a couple tutorials for you too along the way.
You have, and I loved it. It's been really straightforward and not confusing. So.
So I must teach the same way you do. Straightforward.
Straightforward.
Let's open the door. Walk in. You can leave again.
I had someone I just got off a call with a girl, and I always give out level 1 Priestess for free. And it is just looking at what a priestess is and everything else. And she was like, I really liked your videos and your audio because it was like you were talking to me. It wasn't like it was super professional, like really stuffy. It was like I was laying back and you were a friend talking to me. So I like that. That's kind of my approach, is just kind of be someone that people can talk to, because it's so hard to be able to open up anymore. And I mean, all I was doing was, hey, just like I am now, I'm just me, and that's it. I don't pretend. So,
and you're perfect just the way you are, dear.
And that's what I tell everyone too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. So I get this question from people that may just not know. If you know, you know, but if you don't know, then I even struggle with answering this question. What is a priestess?
Okay. Well, there's a lot of different directions you can go with this. And this is why people struggle so much. It's because it can be a priestess within your own practice. So kind of like you think about being solitary. So being more conscious of the world around you, conscious of energy, being more grounded and nurturing yourself, being spiritually awake without putting fear out there, creating a spiritual practice. That spiritual practice may be just pulling a card every day, or when you are cooking, put some extra little herbs or extra little love in there. But the biggest thing for a solitary one is just trusting your intuition and wanting to gain wisdom about the world and about yourself. And many people will also tie in with the wheel of the year, just honoring the cycles of nature. And that's it. And that's not just it, but it is just living with wanting to know more and with deeper intention. And so anybody can be a priestess. I have on my page a little, on my website, a little difference in all of these where it's like the first one is like just really being called. And then there's kind of, I broke it down into levels for people, like learning the past. So learning about the past goddesses, like the Oracle of Delphi. And this is where my history degree comes in because it's ancient history. So looking at Isis, looking at all the women and the goddesses before us, and looking at what's been passed down to us. We don't have to restart everything. It's just looking at maybe at Kuan Yin for her compassion. How can you put that into your life every day? And then embodying this, working with your energy, working with your emotions, doing spiritual practices, and then you can choose a specialization. And that is probably my favorite. That's why that class is not finished yet, because I absolutely am putting way too much information in there. So like I've chosen 4 specialties, and this is just mine. A forest priestess was requested by a friend of mine, and I taught fairy Reiki, and I passed that on to her because she's really a fairy person. That's her. So I did a forest priestess where you learn how to connect with nature and healing others through nature. And then that is where you put yourself out here, and then you bring people to you. And it isn't like a cult. It's like you bring people to you to help, and then you just kind of let them leave with the knowledge, and then they begin their own path. And then it just grows. It's like dropping a rock in the middle of a lake, and it just ripples out. So it's a lot of those. I also do, like there's the water priestess, which is a lot of emotions and somatic healing. The rose priestess is serving in wisdom and looking at Mary Magdalene and Isis and the divine feminine. And then there's also the priestess who, like I was saying before, was solitary, is now sovereign. They're stepping into their power, and what they do is they start holding space for other people. They start facilitating circles or sacred rituals. They empower other people. They heal other people. It really, being a priestess, learning who you are, taking your gift and sharing it with the world, and doing something, to me, that is really very simple. It doesn't have to be a big circle. It could be 2 or 3 of you all getting together, and like we are here on Zoom, sharing our ideas, sharing our information. It can be as spiritual as you want it. It can be as nature-based as you want it. It can be as energy healing as you want it. It can be divination. It can be anything. But it is learning who you are, trusting your intuition, doing daily activities, and just creating sacred space for yourself, and then others come to you. That was a lot.
That.
I'm sorry.
No,
that was really
that was great. That was great. And I appreciate that you have a very thorough answer, because again, I did feel like it was more of something like there's many different avenues, right? So I do work with some priestesses that have a lineage. Now, I'm actually not even sure. Do you have a lineage, or do you, are you okay, you do have a lineage. Okay.
Yes. It's through I've done lots of studies. So it's just like with my yoga. I don't say I just have one.
Yeah.
There is the Magdalene Rose Temple. And then there's also the Inner Temple with Rebecca Campbell, which is more trusting your intuition. It's more of an oracle type, being an oracle and a speaker. But to me, like the Oracle of Delphi, she was a priestess, and she helped lead other women and help people connect. And we all have different paths. Like there are some that help you connect just to nature and some to transformation. I'm a Scorpio, so I like transformation.
Me too.
Things like that. Yeah. But it's just a lot of it is being who you are. We've forgotten that we were already this priestess. We all have been there, but we've forgotten it because people tell us, oh, well, that intuition, that's nothing. Everybody has that. Well, everybody does have it, but it is special. And there's so much fear in the world. It's hard to be grounded. It's hard to look at nature and to look at the moon or to look at the stars or to look at fire. And this is the thing. It's remembrance. And it's taking what we knew in the past and just bringing it here. That's it. And healing and service. We heal people in different ways. Or I like to say we help people heal themselves and be of service. So, yeah. That's it.
So no lineage needed. You can just decide that, I'm going to label myself as a priestess as long as you have good intention and good feelings towards this. Is this how you're viewing this?
Yeah, definitely the good intention. Definitely the good intention. But a lot of people don't realize that Reiki practitioners or yoga teachers or meditation teachers, they're really doing it right now too. They're teaching other people who teach about ancestral work or maybe do past life regressions or Akashic records. They're passing on all of that. It doesn't have to be ceremonial. Now, I like the ceremonial stuff, but it doesn't have to be.
Ooh, such great information here as far as, again, many people have asked me, and I often stumble because I guess before I would not have considered myself a priestess, as far as I've always known in the world that I have belonged to. It is the 13 Moons Mystery School that my clients are from. And so that's, there's a whole like 2-year long, like teachings. And then you have to, be of service for so long to do all of what you've learned. And so I've never done any of that teaching.
Yeah.
Do I have access to lots of those? Sure, because I'm the behind the scene lady before for some of them. So, but just did not go forward with any kind of initiation or anything like that. So,
well, what really happens is once you start this, you want to learn more.
Yeah.
Now, I do offer the year-long trainings and stuff like that, but I also offer one-on-ones and let me help you find a book, and then you read this and you come back to me and we'll do this, or maybe you go here. And I'm really good about referring to people to different things like ancestral work. I do some, but I like to refer them to another friend. I love the goddess studies and they'll refer them to me, that type of thing. So I feel like if you want to do ceremonial, like I said, I love it. It is a way of learning. And I do feel like you do have in order to go through this, it is easier to have a mentor just to kind of keep you accountable. But really, that can be your best friend and someone who will say, look, you're getting a little ego focused. Let's pull it back a little bit. Or you're good. You're going through a slump. It's okay. You're going to be great. And it is learning. And I know this is the teacher in me. The thing that gets me with people is when they're like, oh, I don't want to learn about anything and I don't want to read. And I'm just like, oh, that's where it's really hard because like the mystery schools are great, but they've kept people out of something. I'm not saying the ones that you work with, but I'm talking about historically, the mystery schools, they were always chosen for certain people. Yeah. But I also am the one who have taken a lot of different classes, a lot of different ways, and I love it. But this is the thing I find, too. A lot of people will take classes, but they never put anything in action.
And
guilty. It could even...
I've done that.
Yeah, but did you put it in action in everyday life for you? Did you learn a breathing technique that helps you get through something? You might have taken a class that's that big, but there may be one breathing technique that you took from that. You took it and you embodied it. Some people are so scared to even embody it that they take in the wisdom and they don't move forward, because there's no correct thing. There's never going to be perfection. There's never going to be. So what I tell you is tell people, take all the information, mix it up, and spit out your own way and go.
Yeah. Would you consider being a priestess a practice, like yoga practice and meditation practice? Like, you're never going to be perfect at it.
Right.
This is why they call it a practice. It's something
Exactly.
that you're just, sometimes we're human when we make mistakes too. So,
yeah. Oh yeah. And you're going to evolve spiritually no matter what. There's no one that's perfect. And there's times when I get agitated or I lose confidence or whatever. And it's just like, okay, I got to go for a walk, or I got to breathe, or let me go do whatever and burn a candle. Fire is my thing sometimes. So, but yeah, no, you're spiritually evolving all the time. And I forgot a really important one. I have a client who, she does spirit art. She doesn't know. She has not gotten public yet, but I am pushing her to do spirit art because she can draw, and she tries to be a perfectionist with that. And I was like, stop. You draw squirrels wonderfully and turtles wonderfully. That spirit guide behind me, she drew like this really weird thing. It's exactly how I feel like they are with me. And she goes, well, that doesn't make any sense. I was like, it doesn't have to make sense to you. I feel it. And so, yeah, we have to let people see things and do things and not be perfect. So,
yeah. So what inspired you to start your podcast? We're going to switch gears a little here, only because I know you have one, and because you have this tenacity, this spice for life. I want to know what made you start it, because it's a couple of years old now.
Yeah, I remember during COVID, during lockdown. Well, my boyfriend at the time, now husband. That's another tenacious thing I've done. That's a whole different thing. Waiting till I was 54 to get married. I was sitting on the couch and he comes through and he goes, there's this thing called TikTok. And I was like, I don't like on the camera. And he goes, well, you like to talk. And I was like, yeah, but I don't like to listen to myself. And so he was like, well, you can do Spotify. So I went for a little bit and I did a few podcasts, and it was mostly meditations and stuff. And I was like, okay. But I really didn't know what to talk about. I know, it's weird. What do I talk about? Well, So I would do this every now and then. I wasn't consistent. I had the lady who does events at the store that I'm at, Cosmic Connections down in Nashville. She's like, you should really do a podcast. Or YouTube. And I was like, I don't like being seen. I'm just not a YouTube fan, but I might try talking. So she actually sent me a couple of links to people, and I found the Divine Feminine Network, and then I found you. And I was like, okay, I have got to either do this or don't. And so I booked with you, and you made it sound so easy because it didn't have to be perfect. I was like, I can't edit. Well, you don't have to edit. You can, but you don't have to. And then I just sat down and just started talking. I made sure every week that I was sitting down at the same time and just talking. And I tried to plan out things, and I have the plans, but I like to talk. I do everything intuitively or spontaneously planned. I know that sounds weird, but yeah. And I just love talking. And it was so cool because I had some of my clients go, I listened to your podcast. I'm like, really? And they're like, yeah, I enjoy it. And I listen to it every Wednesday at lunchtime. And I'm like, oh, wow, that is really cool. And I've just decided that I wanted the podcast to be fun. It can go along with what I'm teaching, but I also realized it didn't have to be an hour long. You told me it could be 15 minutes or 20 minutes. I was like, I can talk like that. My college classes, I never lectured for a whole hour unless I had to. But most of the time it was like lecture, and then they get me off topic and we'd have a discussion. Then I try to go back and things like that. So I always noticed 15 or 20 minutes was my max of like blabbing. So that's it. And I absolutely love podcasting. I love it. I see it as a way of bringing people to me, but then also this is another thing. It's free. It's free information. So I'm not gatekeeping anything. It is something that's supplements what I already do. So if you like what I do, you can go into one tier or another. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
I mentioned to somebody actually just today, I had a little mastermind meeting earlier that I belong to. I don't run this one. And somebody had asked me about our topic of the day was like your voice or something. And I said, you know, what I've noticed is that if people have listened to my podcast, they actually convert better as better clients because they already know how I talk. They know how I speak about different options, different topics, different whatever. And so there's not this expectation of, oh, she's going to talk to me like this. It's going to be, oh, she talks to me exactly how she podcasts. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And it's such a great freeing thing to get somebody to come in and say, yeah, I love you. I've already listened to your podcast. Let's get to work, you know? And I know you've said this has happened to you too.
Yeah, because I have a different way of doing some things. I mean, I'm the first one to tell you to throw away a tarot book. Don't even look at it. Trust your intuition. I am not good with, now, I was very masculine and linear in all my jobs before, but with this one, it's like, just do it. Don't think, just do it. Blah it out, put it out there. And that is so hard for people. And some people, they like it and some people don't. And then some people like online, some people like in person, and I do in person. But I notice that there's a very thin crossover of those who do online and in person. And I feel like those that do in person do online because I have the in-person content there. So, yeah.
It's a great way to get people to really know you, especially now. Everybody's all about the trust now and about is that a real person or is that AI? And having a podcast. I know that there's a lot of AI podcasts out there now, which is really sad, but I feel like, yeah, I know. It is. It's pretty sad. But I do still feel like when we make a mistake, when we say those ums and ahs, AI is not going to do that.
No.
Yeah. It's going to be straight, linear, maybe robotic sounding.
Oh, yeah. And you can tell the videos and things like that because I've played around with different, because I don't like social media. I am not good at social media. I will consume it like crazy, but I'm not good at putting it out there. And I've tried those little videos. I was like, for one, that's not even me. That's not how I approach things. And I want people to see me for me. So,
yeah. Authentic. And I think that's part of the divine feminine in us, right? That's part of the priestess. That's part of you being of service to others too, is you don't want to seem inauthentic. You don't want to seem fake and AI driven. And I mean, it's great. I don't mind using AI, but I also, I did it earlier today. I used it for something and I was like, no, that doesn't sound like me at all.
Yeah.
This isn't me. I don't want to put anything out like that. That doesn't sound like me. So yeah, I feel like it's that part of us that wants to be true to not only ourselves, but to others. And that's important.
Yeah. And that's another thing. I get a lot of questions about, well, now that I'm on this path, how do I deal with the other world, the real world, which this is real, but, and I'm struggling with that right now. Sometimes you had to hide who you were or kind of tone down some things a little bit for people, and you really shouldn't have to. And that is some of the things that I've been working with people as I work with myself in doing, is being your authentic self in your sacred space, in your groups, as well as in the real world. And a lot of times that comes down to just being kind and loving and being real. And so other than that, they don't have to know what I do, or you want to tell people, and you also know how some people will react, but it's okay because they have their own thing and you have your own thing. And I think that is one of the lessons that women are learning right now on the priestess path, is to be aligned with your truth, but you don't have to push it out there. It's not being quiet or hiding, but it's being intentional and sacred.
Yeah. I do love that. I hate to say that after every time somebody stops talking. I love that. But really, it truly is one of those, you're speaking from your heart, you're caring, you are being totally authentic, and And that is what I want people to see here. So
thank you.
I know that we were going to go into like how we met, but you kind of mentioned we met in November. And, but I really want to mention that you have these offers for people. You can actually help them find their sacred space. You can help them with Oracle Tarot. You can help them with Reiki. You can help them. And it doesn't have to be in person. It can be virtual. So I'm going to put your website or your Substack or both in the show notes. I would love for people to start your podcast. So what episode would they start on?
I would do, mixing with this topic, episode 73, because it talks about what is a priestess, and it talks about my path of finding who I am today. So I like that one the most. It's my most vulnerable, and it's the one that most people who know me are like, wow, I didn't even know that. And then people who don't know me was like, wow, that was vulnerable. That was emotional. And it's more for people to realize that just loving who you are. I mean, that's it. Just coming to who you are and knowing that you can use whatever word you want. You don't have to use the word priestess. You can use whatever you want. But priestess is not hidden from you. It's not behind a closed door. It's out there for you. And it explains more of what it is. Sometimes it's hard for me to explain what it is because it's all over the place. But that's the reason why it's so encompassing and inviting and, inclusive. It's because it is all over the place. So, yeah, episode 73.
All right. Sounds good. And as your podcast coach, I would just like to formally congratulate you because you have already surpassed 100 episodes. So congratulations. That's
Thank you.
After the 10, most people pod fade after like 8 episodes. So after 10, the next big milestone is 100. And you just reached that a couple weeks ago. I just looked it up because I was like, I know she did. April 22nd of this year, you hit 100 and congratulations.
Thank you.
That takes a lot. It takes a lot of dedication.
Well, I think it's funny because I had to visit my mom this week and it's 3 hours away and she doesn't have internet. I was like, I did not batch record. I don't do very well with batch recording, but I'm working on that today. And I thought, Lord, okay, I can just skip it and not do it. I was like, no, Kim will kill me. So I got up at 5 o'clock in the morning before I left and did the latest episode. And I was like, I'm just going to put something out there. And it was just natural. It was just like coming in here and talking to everyone. So, and I just click upload and schedule and there we go. And it was just that easy. It's just I think if you get out of the practice a lot, it's easy not to do it. But if you make it as this is one of the things, and I don't get up at 5 o'clock for anything. I don't even get up at 7 o'clock for my other job and I have to be there at 8. So I got up at 5. The cats got me up. Let's just say the cats got me up and I decided to stay. So yeah, it is a goal, but I also have you, which is great. You've helped me so much because some of the technical things that I thought that would be impossible, and I'm pretty good with tech, but some of it, I'm like, oh goodness, I just need some help. And then my sponsor, Cosmic Connections, has done really good with encouraging me with different things. And it's been wonderful. I'm ready to soon, after I get these level classes down, to start some memberships, I think, through my podcast. I don't know what I want to do yet, but you've got me thinking. And that's the whole point, is the more you think forward, you're not going to quit. So, yeah.
And there's so many avenues, so many different directions to go in podcasting. And actually, that brings me up to your Cosmic Connections. They're your sponsor. And they have gifted me with a couple of gift cards to give out. So I would love to invite our listeners to this episode. If you are interested in a gift certificate to Cosmic Connections, I would absolutely love to get an email from you. You can reach me at kim@kpcreativemedia.com. Now, I don't have a ton of them. I do have 5. So this is going to go to the first 5 people that email me on the day that this goes live. I would love to do that. And then you can get a gift certificate to them and get some goodies from Cosmic Connections down in Nashville, Tennessee, right? That's approximately where you're from.
Yeah, I'm up here in Kentucky, but yeah, I drive down to Nashville. And if you go to yourcosmicconnections.com, it's an online store. And if you follow me and leave some reviews on Apple Podcast, I can get you discounts or gift cards as well. So yeah, definitely. They are really big on community and bringing people together, and they've been great. Yeah. It's like things are starting to fall together, and I just can't wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a win-win. You got some great information today on the episode. Maybe you want to reach out and listen to Bertena's podcast, The Spiritual Sanctuary, and perhaps maybe reach out to her about her Priestess Academy. Maybe give her a little nudge about her Priestess book that's coming out. And then also, again, if you send me an email, kim@kpcreativemedia.com, and tell me that you listened to this episode, if you're one of the first few, I will send you that gift card, because Cosmic Connections has been gracious enough to sponsor you, and today sponsored this. So that's good to know. And you support a small business. If you don't support small business, then really, we're all small businesses. You need to support us to support others and continue on that. So
definitely.
I love that.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Yay.
Yeah, thank you, Bertena. This has been great. Is there any last minute words of wisdom or anything else that you would like to tell the audience before we wrap it up today?
Just think about how each day you can live to you authentically. Just what is intentional. Stopping. We get in such a big hurry for everything, and stopping and trusting ourselves. That's the thing. That's the priestess path, is just loving ourselves and trusting ourselves. That will repair the world. Yeah.
Beautifully said. Beautifully said. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. And don't forget, where your voice flows, your business grows. This is Kim Parkinson. You've been listening to Podcasting for Your Spiritual Business. And I invite you to go listen to Bertena's podcast, The Spiritual Sanctuary. Until next time, talk to you then. Thank you so much for being here and spending this time with me today. If you're ready to deepen your visibility and grow your podcast in a way that feels aligned, come join my email list at kpcreativemedia.com/newsletter, where I share exclusive guidance, support, and next steps. And if this episode resonated, I'd be so honored if you left a review on Apple Podcasts. It's one of the most powerful ways to support the show and help other spiritual women discover it. Until next time, keep showing up and sharing your voice.